The Danner fire's been burning for 16 days, and the air quality index hit 387 this morning. That's hazardous. Well past hazardous, really. But we're still out here because the Josephine County contract says we monitor until containment or until someone higher up calls it off. Nobody's called it off. I've been doing air sampling for the Forest Service for 11 years, since I got out of the Army and needed work that kept me outside, and I've never seen particulate readings like this. The Met 1 BAM 1020 keeps throwing error codes. I've recalibrated it twice. The sensor's fine, it's just that the particulate density doesn't make sense for this distance from the fire line. My daughter Jessa called 20 minutes ago. She's 14, freshman at Grants Pass High School, South Campus, the newer building they opened in 2019. She wanted to know if she had to go to soccer practice because her throat hurt and Coach Alvarez won't let them skip without a doctor's note. I told her to wear the N95 I left on her dresser, the purple one from the pack at Bi-Mart, not the cheap paper ones. She said it makes her look stupid. I said looking stupid beats lung damage. She hung up on me. I'm standing in the pullout on Forest Road 208, half a mile from the Kalmiopsis wilderness boundary. My truck's a 2007 Silverado with 214,000 miles, and the check engine light's been on since June. The sampling equipment's spread across the tailgate, BM unit, filter cassettes. The GPS logger the regional office makes us use now, even though half the time there's no cell signal out here to upload the data. Everything smells like smoke. Everything's been smelling like smoke since August 12th when lightning hit a snag up near Devil's Peak and the whole ridgeline went up. But there's something else in the air now. Under the smoke. Sort of sweet. Sort of like those potpourri things my ex-wife Rachel used to buy at the craft fairs in Cave Junction. Cedar and something floral I could never identify. I keep trying to place it. It's making me think of my dad's workshop, the one behind the house on Redwood Highway where he used to build cabinets. He died 3 years ago. Lung cancer. 40 years of smoking Marlboros plus 30 years breathing sawdust without a mask. The doctor said pick one or the other. Either would have done it eventually. The BM unit beeps. I check the readout. PM 2.5 particulate concentration. 1,847 micrograms per cubic meter. That's impossible. No, that can't be right. I tap the screen. Same number. Normal outdoor air is supposed to be under 12. Wildfire smoke in active burn zones usually maxes out around 500, maybe 800 if you're right up against it. This is triple that, and we're 16 miles from the nearest active flame front, according to this morning's incident report. I pull out my phone. No signal. There never is out here. That's why I keep the Garmin InReach clipped to my belt, the satellite communicator for when cell towers don't reach. Regional policy after that technician got hurt up near Brookings in 2018 and couldn't call out. I could ping headquarters, tell them the equipment's malfunctioning or the readings are off the charts, but the wind shifts. There's this cloud coming through the trees, through the redwoods along the drainage below the road. Not smoke. Wrong color. Smoke's gray, black, sometimes brown depending on what's burning. This is pale green, almost yellow-green, like pollen but denser. It's rolling uphill with the thermal draft, moving between the tree trunks in these thick streamers that catch the light. I've seen pollen clouds before. Spring in southern Oregon, everything turns yellow when the Douglas firs and pines release. Your car gets coated, your sinuses go to hell, the allergy medication aisle at grocery outlet empties out. But this is October. Nothing's pollinating in October, especially not after 16 days of wildfire. The heat would've. The cloud reaches the road. It smells stronger now. That sweet smell. It's not pleasant anymore. It's too strong. Like walking past the essential oils kiosk at the outlet mall in Medford, that overwhelming chemical flower scent that gives you a headache. I'm backing toward the truck cab. The clouds may be 30 feet away and still coming. Moving faster than wind should push something that dense. My InReach starts buzzing. Text message. I pull it off my belt. Emergency alert. Spore cloud moving with wind. Shelter in place. Sealed doors and windows. Do not go outside. Spore cloud. Not pollen. Spores. The alert came through the federal emergency system, not the regional Forest Service dispatch. That means this went up the chain fast. That means somebody already knows what this is, and they're telling people to shelter in place, which is what you do for chemical spills or radiation or... The cloud's at my truck. I'm yanking the tailgate up, not bothering to pack the equipment properly, just shoving the BM unit into the truck bed and slamming the tailgate. The filter cassettes fall off. I leave them. I'm getting in the cab, pulling the door shut, hitting the lock button even though that's stupid. Locks don't seal out air. The windows are up. That's something. The air conditioning's been broken since summer, but at least the windows are up. The cloud passes over the hood. Through it I can see the redwoods on the far side of the road. The spores, that's what they are, spores. The alert said spores. They're settling on everything, coating the windshield in this fine pale green dust that looks almost like frost. It's accumulating in the windshield wiper grooves, piling up against the base of the glass. My phone buzzes. Cell signals back, must have caught a tower bounce. It's a text from Jessa. Coach canceled practice. Everyone's going home. Mom's not answering. Can you pick me up? Grants Pass is 40 minutes from here. South Campus is on the west side of town, near the Rogue River. If the spore cloud's moving with the wind, and the wind's been blowing northeast all day because of the fire's thermal column, I'm starting the truck. The engine turns over rough, takes 3 tries. I should have replaced the spark plugs last month like the guy at Les Schwab told me to. The spore dust on the windshield is thick enough now that I can barely see through it. I hit the wipers. They smear it. That's worse. I spray washer fluid. It turns into this green paste that the wipers just push around. I can't see the road. I put the truck in reverse, backing up by watching through the rear window instead. The back glass has less dust. I get turned around in the pullout, pointing downhill, back toward Highway 199. 40 minutes to Grants Pass. Jess is at the school. Her mom Rachel won't answer because she never does when she's at work. She's a dental hygienist at Asani Three Rivers. She keeps her phone in her locker during shifts. Jessa doesn't have her license yet. She needs me to come get her. The road curves down through old-growth redwoods. These trees are massive, 300 feet tall, trunks thick enough you could drive a car through if they were hollow like the tourist trees up in California. The bark's deeply furrowed, red-brown, fire-resistant. That's why they survive. That's their whole evolutionary strategy. Outlast the fires, resprout from the roots, keep growing for 1,000 years. There's more spore dust on them now, concentrated in the bark furrows, piling up on the burls and the big horizontal branches. My inReach buzzes again. Another emergency alert. Emergency alert. Fire will not stop spread. Avoid forest. Return to primary residence. Seal all ventilation. Fire won't stop spread. They tried to burn it out. They tried to use the wildfire as a barrier, and it didn't work. Whatever's producing these spores, it's surviving fire. It's the redwoods. It's coming from the redwoods. I'm doing 50 down Forest Road 208, which is too fast for these curves, but I need to get to Jessa. The dust is everywhere now, coating the road surface. When I take the curves, I can feel the tires slipping slightly, like driving on pollen in spring, except worse. Thicker. My phone rings. I answer on speaker. Dad. Jessa's voice is tight. Scared. Dad, something's wrong with Mr. Patterson. He was doing parking lot duty and he fell down by the gym, and now he's just lying there and his face is, there's something wrong with his face. Where are you right now? In the band room. We're not supposed to leave. Principal Ortega got on the intercom and said everyone has to stay inside until parents come get them. Good. Stay there. Keep the windows closed. I'm coming. Dad, what's happening? Everyone's texting about people getting sick, and there's this stuff in the air outside and... Jess, baby, I need you to stay calm and stay inside, and I'm going to be there in 30 minutes, okay? 30 minutes. Okay. Her voice cracks. Okay. Hurry. She hangs up. I'm passing the junction with Onion Camp Road. 28 miles to Grants Pass. The highway should be just ahead, 2 more miles of Forest Road, and then pavement. My phone buzzes again, not a call this time, just the emergency alert system repeating. I glance at it. The screen's full of alerts. 23 alerts. All variations of the same message. Shelter in place, avoid forest, seal ventilation, spore clouds spreading. Through the trees on my right, I can see the Danner Fire's smoke column. It's huge, maybe 40,000 feet tall, that massive dark pillar that's been visible from downtown Grants Pass for over 2 weeks. The spore cloud's paler, thinner, harder to see against the sky, but it's there, streaming northeast, toward town, toward Grants Pass High School, South Campus, where my daughter's in the band room with her phone waiting for me to come get her. I press the accelerator harder. The truck shudders. It doesn't like going 70 on forest roads, but it's going to do it anyway. The trees thin out as I approach the highway. I can see the intersection ahead. Forest Road 208 meets Highway 199 at a T-junction with a faded stop sign. There's a Caltrans maintenance shed on the corner, the orange building where they keep road salt and plows for winter. The parking lot has 2 vehicles in it. I'm slowing for the stop sign when I see the person. He's standing between the 2 vehicles, just standing there, wearing a yellow Caltrans vest and jeans, not moving. His arms are at his sides, stiff, and his head's tilted back like he's looking at the sky, except his eyes are closed. I stop. Full stop. I'm maybe 30 feet away. The man's face is wrong. There are these raised lines under his skin, starting at his nostrils and spreading across his cheeks. Like veins, except too thick, too visible. Dark green under pale skin. They're branching, following some kind of pattern. And his arms, the skin on his forearms is splitting. Not bleeding. Just splitting open in these vertical cracks that show something underneath that isn't muscle or bone. It's brown, fibrous, like wood. He takes a step forward, then another. The movement's stiff, mechanical. His boots scrape on the asphalt. He's walking toward my truck. I'm putting the Silverado in gear, turning right onto the highway without checking for traffic. There isn't any traffic. The highway's empty. It's 3:30 on a Tuesday afternoon, and Highway 199 is completely empty, which never happens. There's always logging trucks or tourists or commuters heading between Grants Pass and Crescent City. In my rearview mirror, the Caltrans worker is still walking, following my truck. His arms don't swing. His knees barely bend. He walks like a mechanism, like something that used to be human and got replaced from the inside. I'm accelerating. 60, 70. The highway curves along the Smith River drainage, cutting through forest that's mostly Douglas fir and madrona with redwoods in the creek bottoms. The spore dust is visible in the air here too, drifting in pale green sheets between the trees. 23 miles to Grants Pass. My daughter's waiting for me, and somewhere behind me, that Caltrans worker is still walking, and the splitting in his skin is spreading, and the thing growing inside him is still growing. I hit Grants Pass city limits at 4:02 p.m. The spore dust is lighter here, the town's northeast of the main forest belt, more open terrain, fewer redwoods. But it's still in the air. I can see it settling on parked cars, on the RB sign at the highway junction, on the windows of the Valley View Shopping Center. There's no traffic. That's the first thing that's wrong. The intersection at 6th Street and Highway 199 should be packed right now. Everyone getting off work, school buses running routes. The light's green, but there's nobody at the intersection. Just 3 abandoned cars, doors open, in the middle of the road. I steer around them. Through one of the open doors, I can see a purse on the driver's seat. Keys still in the ignition. My phone rings. Not Jessa. The caller ID says, USFS Regional Medford. I answer. This is Dale Pritchett. Dale, this is Yolanda in Regional Dispatch. Where are you right now? Yolanda Kim. I've talked to her maybe twice. She handles emergency coordination for Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest. The fact that she's calling me directly instead of my supervisor means things are worse than the alert suggested. I'm in Grants Pass. I'm getting my daughter from school. You need to get off the streets. The spore contamination is, we're getting reports from Brookings to Medford. Anyone who inhaled significant concentrations is showing symptoms within 30 to 45 minutes. The CDC's coordinating with state emergency management, but they're saying this is beyond current containment protocols. What kind of symptoms? There's a pause. Background noise on her end. Multiple voices, radio chatter, someone shouting coordinates. Respiratory distress initially, then dermal eruptions. The spores root in sinus tissue and begin aggressive growth. We're getting reports of, her voice drops. Dale, people are transforming. I don't know how else to say it. The spores are growing inside them and changing them into something else. I'm passing the Fred Meyer on G Street. The parking lot's full of abandoned cars. There's a shopping cart overturned by the entrance. A woman's shoe lying on the sidewalk. How fast? Initial symptoms within 45 minutes of exposure. Full transformation, she stops. We don't have a timeline yet. Maybe hours. Maybe faster if exposure was heavy. I'm getting my daughter and we're going somewhere safe. Where's safe? The spores are in Grants Pass. They're in Cave Junction, they're in Brookings. The wind's spreading them, and fire doesn't stop them. They try to backburn near the initial outbreak site, and the spores survived. The redwoods that are producing them, they're resistant to fire. That's their whole biology. And now whatever mutation or adaptation this is, I have to go. My daughter's waiting. I hang up. I shouldn't have hung up on Yolanda, but I don't have time for this. Grants Pass High School South Campus is 4 minutes away if traffic's clear. Traffic's more than clear, traffic's abandoned. I'm doing 50 down G Street, running red lights because there's nobody to hit. The spore dust is getting thicker again. Not as thick as on Forest Road 208, but visible, accumulating in drifts against curbs and building walls. My truck's tires are leaving tracks through it. There's a person walking on the sidewalk outside the Josephine County Courthouse. Man in a suit. He's walking like the Caltrans worker was walking. Stiff. Mechanical. His arms don't swing. His face, even from this distance I can see the raised lines under his skin, the dark green veins spreading from his nose across his cheeks. I keep driving. I'm not stopping. I'm not helping. I'm getting Jessa and getting out of town and figuring out where we go after that. The school appears on my left. Grants Pass High School South Campus. The sign says, Home of the Cavemen. That's their mascot. Used to be controversial. There was a petition a few years back to change it, something about cultural sensitivity, but the school board voted to keep it. Jessa has a caveman volleyball sweatshirt she wears even though she plays soccer, not volleyball. I got it for her birthday last year at the school store. The parking lot has maybe 20 cars still in it. Most of the spaces are empty. There should be 100 cars here. The lot should be full of parents picking up their kids after practice, after band, after whatever after-school activities. I pull up to the west entrance, the one closest to the band room. The doors are glass. Through them I can see the main hallway. It's empty. The lights are on, but there's nobody moving. I text Jessa. I'm here west entrance by gym. The reply comes back immediately. Doors are locked. Mr. Henderson won't let anyone go outside. He says we have to wait for emergency services. Who's Mr. Henderson? Band teacher. He's in charge because Principal Ortega left. I'm getting out of the truck. The air outside tastes wrong. That sweet smell is stronger now, mixing with the smoke smell that's been in the air for weeks. It's making me nauseous. I pull my shirt collar up over my nose and mouth. It doesn't help much, but it's something. The west entrance doors are locked. I can see the lock mechanism, electronic, the kind that needs a badge or an office override. There's a buzzer button by the door frame. I press it. Nothing happens. I press it again. Hold it down. Still nothing. Through the glass I can see down the hallway toward the office. There's no movement. No staff at the front desk. No security guard. The school has one security guard during the day, retired state trooper named Bill something. He's usually in the office area during afternoon hours. I'm pulling out my phone to call Jessa when she appears at the end of the hallway. She's running. Behind her are maybe 15 other students, all of them moving fast. Jessa reaches the doors and slams into them, pulling on the handle from inside. It won't open. Her voice is muffled through the glass. Dad, it won't open. Mr. Henderson locked us in and he won't answer in his face. Stand back. She backs up. I'm looking around the entrance area for something heavy. There's a decorative rock by the landscaping, one of those river rocks the size of a basketball that schools use for borders. I pick it up. It weighs maybe 30 pounds. I throw it through the glass door. The noise is enormous. The glass shatters into those little safety glass cubes that spill across the hallway floor. The alarm starts immediately, that piercing electronic shriek that every school has. I'm reaching through the broken door, finding the interior handle, pushing it down. The electronic lock's overridden by the manual handle from inside. The door opens. Jessa stumbles out. I catch her. She's shaking. Dad, there's something wrong with people. Mr. Henderson was fine, and then he went into his office, and when he came out there was stuff under his skin, and he told us we couldn't leave, and then he just stood there and stopped moving and... How many people are still inside? One of the other students answers. Older kid, junior or senior, wearing a caveman football shirt. Maybe 40? 50? Most people's parents already picked them up, but the rest of us were waiting, and then Principal Ortega locked all the doors and said nobody could leave until emergency services cleared it, but then she left, and we were just stuck. Anyone showing symptoms? Anyone with breathing problems or skin changes? They all shake their heads. One girl, sophomore maybe, says, there's dust on some of the windows on the east side. That green stuff. But we stayed away from that side like Mr. Henderson said before he got weird. The alarm's still going. I'm shepherding them toward my truck. 15 students plus Jessa. 16 total. The Silverado holds 6 maximum if you pack the back seat and truck bed. Anyone have cars here? The football kid raises his hand. I've got my Jeep. You're driving. Anyone else? 2 more students have vehicles. A girl with a Honda Civic and a boy with an old Ford Ranger that looks older than my Silverado. We're leaving. Right now. Anyone who doesn't fit in the trucks, squeeze into the Civic. We're going. I stop. Where are we going? Home's out. My place is a rental on Williams Highway, 5 miles south, closer to the forest. Jess's mom's apartment is downtown near the hospital. Is downtown safer? Is anywhere safer? Yolanda said the spores are in Brookings, Cave Junction, Medford. The whole region. The whole southwestern Oregon Coast Range. We're going to my place, the football kid says. My family's ranch is off Coyote Creek Road, 20 miles northwest. That's away from the fire, away from the main forest belt. My dad's there. We've got a ham radio set up, underground well, storage supplies from when they thought Y2K was going to be bad. We can go there. I look at him. What's your name? Trevor Paulson. My dad's Dennis Paulson. He runs the ranch, and he's been watching this spore thing since this morning. He called me at lunch, told me to come home as soon as school let out, but then they locked the doors and, look, my dad knows what he's doing. If anyone's got a plan for this, it's him. Jess is tugging my arm. Dad, can we trust him? I don't know. I don't know this kid or his father, or whether a ranch 20 miles northwest is any safer than anywhere else. But I don't have a better plan. Downtown Grants Pass is contaminated. The forest is definitely contaminated. And every minute we stand here arguing is another minute the spores are spreading. Okay, Trevor's ranch. Everyone who's going with us, get in vehicles now. If you've got family you can call, try to reach them on the way. If not, you're staying with us until this gets sorted out. They pile into vehicles. Jessa gets in my truck, passenger seat. 5 other students squeeze into the back seat. I'm pulling out of the parking lot when I see Mr. Henderson. He's standing in the broken doorway of the west entrance, arms at his sides, face covered in those dark green lines spreading from his nose across his cheeks and forehead. His skin is splitting along his forearms. Through the splits, I can see brown fibrous material, growing. He takes a step forward, then another, walking with that same stiff mechanical gait, coming toward us. I hit the accelerator. The truck lurches forward. In the rearview mirror, I can see Mr. Henderson still walking. Not running, not hurrying, just walking with that awful steady pace. Trevor's Jeep is already moving, pulling out of the lot behind me. The Honda Civic follows. The Ford Ranger takes longer, the kids having trouble starting it, but it finally turns over and they're moving too. We're heading northwest on Coyote Creek Road, away from downtown, away from the forest where the spores are thickest. For vehicles, 17 people total, heading for a ranch owned by someone I've never met because a high school football player says his dad has a ham radio and supplies. My phone buzzes. Another emergency alert. Emergency alert. Avoid contact with infected individuals. Do not attempt to restrain or assist. Maintain minimum 100-foot distance. Infected individuals. That's what they're calling them now. Not victims. Not patients. Infected individuals who should be avoided and not assisted. Jess is crying. Quiet. She's trying not to let me see, but her shoulders are shaking, and she keeps wiping her eyes. Jess. Mom's not answering. I've called her 6 times. She's at work at the hospital, and she's not answering. The hospital. Asani Three Rivers Medical Center, downtown Grants Pass. That's where Rachel works. Where she'd be right now, 3 floors up in the dental clinic, phone in her locker like always because the dentists don't allow personal phones during patient hours. The hospital's right in the middle of downtown, right in the contamination zone. I'm gripping the steering wheel. The ranch is northwest. The hospital is southeast. 20 minutes in opposite directions. Dad, we have to go get her. Jess, we can't just leave her there. Dad, please. The truck's still heading northwest, following Trevor's Jeep. Behind me, the other 2 vehicles are keeping pace. 17 people depending on me to lead them somewhere safe. My daughter begging me to turn around and go back into town for her mother. I can't do both. I can't save everyone. I'm slowing down. The truck's drifting toward the shoulder. Trevor's Jeep is pulling ahead, brake lights flashing as he notices I'm not keeping pace. Dad, what are you doing? I'm thinking. There's nothing to think about. We have to go get Mom. 17 people in 4 vehicles, most of them minors. The hospital is southeast, back toward downtown, back toward the thickest contamination. The ranch is northwest, away from the main spore dispersal. Every minute I spend going back into Grants Pass is another minute these kids are exposed to infection. But Rachel's at that hospital. Jess's mother. My ex-wife we've been divorced for 3 years, but I still care about her. I still want her to be okay. And Jess is sitting next to me crying because her mother won't answer the phone. Trevor's Jeep has stopped. He's backing up, pulling alongside my truck. His window comes down. Mr. Pritchett, what's wrong? My daughter's mother is at the hospital downtown. We need to go get her. Trevor's face goes tight. That's back into town. That's 15 minutes the wrong direction, and the hospital's going to be swarmed with infected. My dad said on the phone this morning that hospitals are the worst place to be in a biological outbreak because that's where everyone goes when they get sick. I know that. Then you know we can't go there. We have to get to the ranch. We have 15 people depending on us too. I know. I'm shouting. I don't mean to shout, but it comes out anyway. I know we can't go there. I know it's the wrong move. But that's my daughter's mother, and I can't just leave her. Jess is pulling on my arm. Dad, please. Please. We can be fast. In and out. 5 minutes. Trevor's shaking his head. 5 minutes in a hospital that's probably full of people with respiratory symptoms who've been breathing spores for the last hour? Mr. Pritchett, I'm sorry, but I can't take these people back there. My dad's expecting us. He's got the property secured, and if we're not there by dark, he's going to lock the gates, and we'll be stuck outside. Then go. Take them. Give me the address, and we'll meet you there. Dad, Jess's voice cracks. Dad, they need you. You know what's happening. Trevor doesn't. He's just a kid, and those other students need an adult, and so does your mother. The words come out harder than I mean them to. Jessa flinches. She's right, Trevor's 17, maybe 18. He's not equipped to handle this. But I can't be in 2 places. I can't protect 17 people and go get Rachel from a contaminated hospital in the middle of an outbreak that the CDC apparently has no containment protocol for. They're shouting from the Honda Civic behind us. One of the girls is leaning out the window. What's happening? Why are we stopped? Trevor looks at me. Make a choice, Mr. Pritchett. Right now. Because every second we sit here is a second the spores are spreading and people are changing, and my dad's getting ready to lock the ranch down. I look at Jessa. She's crying harder now. Her face is red and she's doing that thing she does when she's trying not to completely break down, biting her lower lip and breathing through her nose in sharp little gasps. I can't leave Rachel, but I can't take 17 people back into contamination. Trevor, here's what's going to happen. You take everyone to your ranch. I'm going to give you my InReach satellite communicator. If cell towers go down, you'll still be able to contact emergency services. Take the students, go to your father's property, secure it, and wait for official help. I'm taking Jessa, and we're going to get her mother, and then we're coming to join you. Give me the address. You won't make it. The hospital's going to be. Give me the address. He does. 4847 Coyote Creek Road, northwest of town, past the junction with Starve-Out Creek. I put it in my phone's GPS. I'm handing Trevor my InReach through the window. You know how to use this? Yeah. My dad has one for backcountry hunting. Good. Keep these people safe. If I'm not at the ranch by midnight, assume I didn't make it and tell your father to lock down completely. Don't wait for us. Trevor nods. He looks scared. He should look scared. He's 17 years old, and he's suddenly responsible for 14 other students because the adult who was supposed to be in charge just bailed on them to save his ex-wife. The Jeep pulls away. The Honda and the Ford follow. 5 students are still in my back seat. They're looking at me. You 5 want to go with Trevor or come with us to the hospital? They look at each other. The football player in the back, big kid wearing a caveman jersey with Ramirez 44 on it, says, I'll stay. My mom works at the hospital too. 3rd floor, cardiac unit. If we're going there anyway, I want to check on her. The others nod. Staying. Okay. Hospital, quick in and out, then we're heading to the ranch. Agreed. They agree. I'm turning the truck around, heading back toward Grants Pass, toward downtown, toward the Asani Three Rivers Medical Center, where my ex-wife is probably still at work because she keeps her phone in her locker and she's never heard the emergency alerts, and she doesn't know that people are transforming into something that walks like a mechanism and has wood growing inside them. The spore dust is thicker as we get closer to downtown. It's accumulating in the gutters, against building walls, in doorways. The streets are still empty, but I can see people now. Distant figures walking with that stiff mechanical gait. 3 of them outside the 7-Eleven on 6th Street. 2 more near the post office. They're not moving toward us. They're just walking, following some pattern I can't see. Dad, look at their arms. Jess is pointing at one of the figures outside the 7-Eleven. Its arms, I'm thinking of them as it now, not he or she. Its arms are completely split open. The skin's peeled back in vertical strips. Underneath is that brown fibrous material, wood or something like wood, and there are these protrusions growing out of it, like branches. Small ones, thin as pencils, but they're growing out of where the person's forearms used to be. The hospital is 3 blocks ahead. The parking lot's full, more full than it should be for 4:30 on a Tuesday. Every space occupied and cars double parked in the drive lanes. I'm pulling into the emergency room entrance because it's the closest to the building. The ER doors are glass, automatic, and through them I can see the waiting room. It's packed, maybe 50 people in a space designed for 20. Some sitting, some standing, some lying on the floor, and all of them showing signs. The raised green lines under their skin. The splitting starting on their arms and hands. One woman near the doors has her entire forearm split open, brown wood visible underneath, and she's just sitting there staring at it like she can't understand what she's seeing. Dad, we can't go in there. The dental clinic's on the 3rd floor. We don't have to go through the ER. There's a side entrance by the professional building. That's how staff gets in. We'll use that. I'm driving around to the east side of the hospital. The professional building is a separate structure connected by a covered walkway. The staff entrance is a plain metal door with a card reader. It's supposed to be locked, but when I pull on it, it opens. The hallway inside is empty. Fluorescent lights humming. That hospital smell, antiseptic and floor cleaner, and something else underneath that might be fear or might just be my imagination. We're moving fast. Jess is behind me. The 5 students are staying close. Up a stairwell to the 3rd floor. Through fire doors into the main hospital corridor. The dental clinic is at the end of the hall. The doors propped open. Inside I can see the reception desk, empty. Patient chairs, empty. The dental chairs visible through the open doors to the treatment rooms, also empty. Mom! Jess is calling out. Mom, are you here? No answer. We're checking the rooms. Treatment room 1 empty. Treatment room 2 empty. The sterilization area, the staff break room, the bathroom, all empty. Rachel's locker is in the break room. I can see it standing open. Her purse is gone. Her phone's not there. She left, Jessa says. She already left. Dad, where would she go? Home. She'd go home to her apartment. That's where she'd go. The apartment's on M Street, 12 blocks from here. If she left when the alert started, when was that, 3 o'clock? 3:30, she would have been home by now. She would have. There's a sound from the hallway. Footsteps. Multiple people. That same scraping shuffle I heard from the Caltrans worker, from Mr. Henderson. I'm moving to the clinic door, looking out. 3 of them, walking down the hallway toward the dental clinic. Hospital staff based on their scrubs. The one in front has split arms, brown wood showing through. The one in the middle has branches growing from its shoulders. Small thin branches pushing through the fabric of its scrub top. The one in the back has something wrong with its face. The skin split down the center of the forehead, and I can see bark underneath. Actual bark. Red-brown furrowed bark like redwood trees have. They're not attacking. They're just walking. But they're between us and the stairwell we came up. Back door. I'm pushing Jessa and the students toward the rear of the clinic. There's an exit that leads to a secondary stairwell. I've seen Rachel use it when she's leaving work. We're moving through the break room, past the lockers, to the rear door. It's locked. Not just locked. Chained. Someone's wrapped a chain through the panic bar and padlocked it. There's a piece of paper taped to it with Sharpie writing. Contamination protocol. Do not open. We're trapped. The 3 infected people are in the dental clinic now. I can hear them moving through the front area. Scraping footsteps. Something cracking, wood on linoleum maybe, or branches hitting door frames. Jess is grabbing my arm. Dad, what do we do? What do we do? There's a window in the break room, but we're 3 floors up. There's the chain door. There's the front entrance where 3 infected people are slowly making their way toward us. I'm looking around the break room. Staff lockers. Small refrigerator. Microwave. Coffee maker. And on the wall by the door, a red fire extinguisher in a glass case. I grab it. Break the glass with my elbow. Pull out the extinguisher. Everyone stay behind me. I'm moving back toward the treatment area. The 3 infected are near the reception desk now, close enough that I can see details. The branches growing from the middle one's shoulders have small buds on them, like leaf buds. And the one with the split face, its eyes are still open, but they're not moving. Not tracking, just staring straight ahead. I'm raising the fire extinguisher. Get back! They don't react. They keep walking. I'm squeezing the trigger. White CO2 foam sprays out, hitting the lead infected in the face and chest. It doesn't stop. It keeps walking through the spray, arms outstretched now, reaching for me. The fire extinguisher isn't working. The foam isn't. Ramirez shoves past me. The big football player. He's holding one of the metal instrument trays from the treatment room, and he swings it like a bat, hitting the lead infected in the head. The impact sounds wrong. Not a wet thud. More like hitting wood. Hollow. The infected staggers. Doesn't fall. Keeps coming. We're backing up. All 6 of us. Back into the break room. There's nowhere to go. The window's 3 floors up and the rear doors chained, and the infected are still coming in. The window. Ramirez, help me with this. I'm at the window, trying to force it open. It's one of those modern hospital windows that only opens a few inches for safety reasons. I'm shoving the frame, trying to break the safety lock. Ramirez hits it with the metal tray. The frame cracks. We shove together, and the window swings open fully. 3 floors down is the roof of the professional building. Flat roof. Maybe a 12-foot drop. We're jumping. Everyone out. Now. Jessa goes first. I'm holding her hands, lowering her out the window as far as I can reach, then letting go. She falls maybe 8 feet and lands on the roof. Rolls. Gets up. I'm okay. The students go next. One at a time. Ramirez goes last. He's the heaviest, maybe 200 pounds, and when he lands the roof membrane makes this horrible cracking sound, but it holds. The infected are at the break room door. I can see them through the window, moving slow but steady. I'm climbing out onto the ledge, hanging from the window frame, dropping. I land hard. My left ankle rolls, and there's a sharp pain, but I'm up, ignoring it, moving toward the roof access door. It's locked. Of course it's locked. Fire escape. Ramirez is pointing to the corner of the building. There's an external fire escape, metal stairs leading down to the parking lot. We're running for it. Behind us I can hear something at the window. I don't look back. Down the fire escape. 3 floors of metal stairs that shake and rattle with each step. Into the parking lot. My truck's on the other side of the building. We're running around the perimeter, past cars full of medical supplies and abandoned purses, and one with the driver's door open, and the driver still in the seat, slumped forward against the steering wheel with splits opening along the back of their neck. I'm getting everyone into the truck. 6 of us now, all squeezing in. My ankle's throbbing. I'm starting the engine. The dashboard clock says 5:47 p.m. We've been inside the hospital for maybe 20 minutes. It felt like hours. Dad, where's Mom's apartment? M Street. 12 blocks. I'm driving fast through streets that are emptier now but not empty. There are more infected. Groups of them. Standing at intersections. Walking along sidewalks. Some have split arms with branches growing out. Some have bark showing through their skin. One has a full branch extending from its spine, bursting through its shirt, maybe 3 feet long with small buds along its length. They're not aggressive. They're not chasing us. They're just there, spreading, walking. And wherever they walk, they leave that dust behind them, little puffs of spore dust with each step, contaminating everything. Rachel's apartment building is a 3-story complex on M Street. Building C, Unit 211. I've dropped Jessa off here every other weekend for 3 years. I know the parking lot layout, the exterior stairs, the location of her unit. I'm pulling into the lot. The building looks normal. No infected visible outside. Windows intact. The lights in Rachel's unit are on. I can see them from the parking lot. 2nd floor, corner unit, living room window facing south. Everyone stay in the truck. Lock the doors. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, drive to the ranch. Address is in my phone's GPS. Jess is grabbing me. Dad, I'm coming with you. No. She's my mother. That's why you're staying here. Because if something goes wrong up there, you need to be safe. You need to be able to get to the ranch with these other kids. Jessa, please. Trust me. She's crying again, but she nods. I'm getting out. The students are moving into the front seat, Ramirez taking the driver's position. Good. If I don't come back, he can drive them out of here. Up the exterior stairs. 2nd floor. Down the outdoor corridor to Unit 211. Rachel's door. I knock. Rachel, it's Dale. Open up. No answer. I knock harder. Rachel, Jess is with me. We need to leave. There's an outbreak and we need to go now. The door opens. Rachel's there. She looks normal. No splits in her skin. No green lines under her face. She's wearing her work scrubs, blue top with white undershirt, her name tag still pinned to the chest. Her hair's pulled back in that practical ponytail she always wears for work. She looks confused. Dale, what are you? Jess is with you. Where? In my truck in the parking lot. We need to leave right now. Haven't you seen the alerts? The emergency broadcasts? I just got home 15 minutes ago. My phone died at work and I haven't checked. Dale, what's happening? There's a biological outbreak. Spores from the redwoods after the fire. People are getting infected and transforming into. We don't have time. Grab whatever you need for 2 days and let's go. She's staring at me like I've lost my mind. Transforming into what? Rachel, I don't have time to explain. Please, trust me. We need to leave. She looks past me down at the parking lot. She can see my truck from here. She can see Jessa in the passenger seat. Okay, give me 2 minutes. She disappears into the apartment. I'm standing in the doorway, watching the parking lot, watching the stairs. No infected yet. The sun's getting low. It's almost 6 p.m. Darkness in maybe an hour. Trevor said his dad would lock the ranch gates at dark. Rachel comes back with a backpack. I have medications, clothes, phone charger. Dale, is Jessa safe? Is she showing any symptoms? She's fine. We got out of town before the worst of it. She's fine. We're moving down the corridor, down the stairs, toward the truck. Rachel sees the students packed into my Silverado, and her expression shifts from confusion to fear. Dale, how many people are with you? I'll explain on the way. We're going to a ranch outside town. We're meeting other people there. We're at the truck. Jess's door opens and she's out, hugging her mother. Rachel's hugging back, checking her over, looking for signs of injury or infection. Finding none. Mom, we have to go. There are these people who got infected, and they're walking around, and their arms are splitting open, and... I believe you, baby. I believe you. Let's go. We're getting back in the truck. Rachel's in the back seat with 3 of the students. It's cramped, but we're all in. I'm starting the engine. The GPS says the ranch is 38 minutes away. It's 5:53 p.m. We're pulling out of the parking lot when I see them. 6 infected. Coming around the corner of Building B, walking in a line. Their arms are completely transformed. No skin left, just those brown wooden limbs with branches extending out like some kind of horrible tree-person hybrid. They're walking toward the truck. I'm accelerating. Hard. The truck lurches forward. One of the students in back yells something I don't catch. I'm steering around the corner, out of the parking lot, onto M Street heading north toward the highway that'll take us to Coyote Creek Road. Behind us, the 6 infected stop at the edge of the parking lot. They don't follow. They just stand there, waiting, like they know we'll come back, like they know everyone comes back eventually. The drive to the ranch is 40 minutes of tension. Every intersection we pass, there are more infected. Every street has that spore dust accumulating. By the time we're out of Grants Pass proper and onto the rural roads northwest of town, the sunset's turning the smoke-filled sky deep orange and red. It would be beautiful if it wasn't marking the end of civilization. Rachel's in the back seat asking questions. I'm answering them as best I can. Spores from the redwoods. Aggressive infection timeline. Transformation into something that's part human, part tree. No known containment protocol. CDC overwhelmed. Emergency services abandoning posts. How long until they're everywhere? She asks. I don't know. Hours. Days. The spores are moving with the wind, and they survive fire. Every infected person becomes a new vector. Yolanda at Regional Dispatch said they're getting reports from Brookings to Medford. That's 100 miles of coast range. And this ranch we're going to belongs to the family of one of Jess's classmates. They've got supplies, security, distance from the main forest belt. It's the best option we have right now. Rachel doesn't argue. She's a practical person. Always has been. That's why we got divorced. I'm too stubborn, she's too practical, and neither of us could bend far enough to meet in the middle. But right now, practical is keeping her calm. Practical is keeping her from panicking. Coyote Creek Road is narrow and winding. Gravel in places, paved in others, following the creek drainage northwest into foothills that are mostly grass and oak with scattered Douglas fir. Fewer redwoods here. That's good. The spore count should be lower. The GPS says we're 2 miles from the ranch when I see the roadblock. It's not official. No police cars or fire department vehicles. Just 2 pickup trucks parked across the road with their headlights on, and 4 men standing in front of them with rifles. I'm slowing down, stopping 50 feet from the blockade. One of the men approaches. He's in his 50s, wearing jeans and a Carhartt jacket, carrying a hunting rifle that looks like a .30-06. He stops at my driver's window. You folks lost? We're looking for the Paulson Ranch. I've got Trevor Paulson with me. He came from Grants Pass High School with my daughter. His father, Dennis, said we could shelter there. The man looks past me into the truck, counting people. 6 visible from this angle. He's doing math in his head. Resources per person, water usage, food requirements, security risk. Dennis is my brother. I'm Carl Paulson, Trevor's uncle. Dennis radioed me 30 minutes ago, said his son might be bringing people. How many total? 6 in this truck. 14 others already at the ranch with Trevor. They came in a Jeep, a Honda, and a Ford Ranger. Carl nods. They're here. Got here 20 minutes ago. Dennis is deciding whether to let them stay. That's a lot of people for a ranch that's set up for a family of 4. We won't be a burden. I've got emergency management training from the Forest Service. I can help coordinate supplies, security, whatever you need. Carl studies me. Forest Service. You know what this is? This spore thing? Redwood mutation after the Danner fire. The trees survive the burn and release spores that infect human sinus tissue. Aggressive growth pattern. 45 minutes from exposure to symptoms. Hours until full transformation. No known treatment. CDC's coordination is failing. We're on our own. And you think my brother's ranch is going to keep you safe? I think it's away from the main redwood belt. I think your family has supplies and distance and defensive positions. I think it's the best chance we have. Carl looks at Rachel in the back seat. Looks at Jessa. Looks at the other students. Back to me. One condition. If anyone shows symptoms, anyone, they leave the property immediately. My brother's got 2 kids and a wife. I've got 3 kids of my own back at the ranch. I'm not risking them for strangers. Symptoms mean you're out. Understood? I understand. It's brutal, but it's survival. If we were making decisions from a place of safety, we'd quarantine the infected, we'd try to help them. But we're not safe. Nobody's safe. And one infected person could spread spores throughout an enclosed property. Understood. Carl waves to the other men. They move the trucks. We drive through. The ranch appears around the next curve. It's bigger than I expected. Main house, 2 barns, equipment shed, what looks like a greenhouse. Maybe 40 acres total with most of it in pasture. There are lights on in the main house. Trevor's Jeep is parked by the barn along with the Honda and the Ford. Dennis Paulson meets us in the driveway. He's older than Carl, early 60s maybe, with white hair and the kind of weathered face you get from 40 years of outdoor work. He's not carrying a rifle, but I can see a pistol on his belt. You must be Dale Pritchett. Trevor told me about you. Said you went back for your daughter's mother. That's right. Stupid move. Could have gotten everyone killed. But I respect it. Can't say I wouldn't do the same for my wife. He's looking at the truck. 6 more people. We're at 23 total now. That's manageable if this is short term. If this goes longer than a week, we'll have problems. What kind of problems? Food. Water's not an issue. We've got the well and a backup generator, but food's tight. We keep a 6-month supply for the family, but that's 4 people. 23 people burns through supplies fast. And if any of you are infected, if you brought spores onto this property, we're clean. Nobody's showing symptoms. I've been monitoring everyone since we left town. Dennis looks at me hard. You better be right. Because if spores get established here, if redwoods start growing on my property from infected people dropping spores, we'll have to burn it. All of it. The pastures, the buildings, everything. And then we'll have nowhere to go. That's the choice. That's what it comes down to. His family's safety and property versus helping strangers who might be contaminated. It's the same choice I made at the school. Same choice I made at the hospital. Save the people you love or save the people you can. We're clean, I say again. I promise. Dennis nods. Get your people inside. Main house has the living room and kitchen. Barns are for overflow. We'll do a symptom check every 6 hours. Anyone shows signs, they're out. No arguments. No second chances. We're getting out of the truck. My ankle's still throbbing from the jump at the hospital, but I'm moving, getting everyone inside. The main house is warm. They've got a wood stove going despite it being October. The living room has Trevor and the other students from the school. They look exhausted, scared, but alive. Trevor sees me and stands up. "Mr. Pritchett, you made it. We made it. Your father and uncle set up a good operation here. Dad's been preparing for this kind of thing since I was little. Not this specifically, but general collapse scenarios. He's got protocols for everything." Jessa and Rachel are together on the couch. Jessa's still crying periodically. Rachel's holding her, stroking her hair, doing that mom thing where you make everything feel safer even when it isn't. Dennis is at the kitchen table with maps spread out. "Gather everyone. I need to explain how this works." We gather. 23 people crowded into a living room that's designed for maybe 8. Dennis stands at the kitchen table where everyone can see him. Here's the situation. The spore outbreak is spreading throughout the Rogue Valley. Based on radio reports, Grants Pass is compromised. So is Cave Junction, Brookings, and parts of Medford. The National Guard's setting up quarantine lines, but they're understaffed and the infected don't behave like normal outbreak victims. They're mobile. They're spreading. And wherever they go, they drop spores that create new infections. This ranch is 15 miles from the nearest significant redwood population. Wind's been blowing northeast, which means most spores are moving away from us. But that could change. We're monitoring wind direction, and if it shifts south, we evacuate. Food supplies will last 7 to 10 days for this group. Water's unlimited from the well. Security's handled by my brother Carl and 3 other men from neighboring properties. We've got perimeter patrols starting at dawn. Symptom checks every 6 hours. If you show green lines under your skin, respiratory distress, or any skin splitting, you report it immediately. If you hide symptoms, you endanger everyone here. If we discover you're infected and tried to hide it, we'll put you off the property by force. This is survival. We help each other, we follow protocols, and we get through this. Questions? A girl from the school raises her hand. What happens if the spores get here? What if the wind shifts? We burn the infected before they can spread. We quarantine anyone exposed. And if it gets bad enough, we evacuate north to my brother's property near Roseburg. He's got another setup there, smaller but more remote. What about our families? Another student. My parents are in Medford. Can we contact them? Ham radios set up in the barn. You can try to make contact, but don't expect much. Most communication systems are overloaded or failing. Cell towers are down in most areas. Landlines are spotty. We're on our own. No one else asks questions. There's nothing to ask. We're here because everywhere else is worse. We're alive because we got lucky. And we'll stay alive as long as the wind doesn't shift and nobody gets infected, and the food holds out, and the National Guard manages to contain the outbreak. That's a lot of conditions. I'm looking at Jessa. She's asleep now, her head on Rachel's shoulder. Rachel's awake, staring at nothing, one hand on our daughter's hair. She looks at me, and I see the same thing I'm feeling. Gratitude that we're together. Terror about what comes next. And guilt. Guilt because we're here and safe while people in Grants Pass are transforming. While Mr. Henderson walks around the high school dropping spores. While the Caltrans worker I saw on Highway 199 spreads contamination. While Rachel's co-workers at the hospital split open and grow branches from their arms. We saved ourselves. We saved our daughter. We saved 21 other people. And we left everyone else behind. Dennis is looking at me from across the room. He knows. He sees it on my face. He walks over. "You did what you could," he says quietly. "You got your daughter out. You got these kids out. That's more than most people managed. It doesn't feel like enough. It never does. But beating yourself up won't help those people. Won't help anyone. What helps is getting through tonight, and tomorrow, and the next day, until either this outbreak burns itself out or someone figures out how to stop it. And if nobody figures out how to stop it," Dennis looks toward the window. Through it I can see the darkening sky, the smoke column from the Danner fire still visible against the sunset. Somewhere out there, the spores are spreading. The infected are walking. The redwoods are winning. "Then we survive anyway," Dennis says. "Because that's what people do." I hope he's right. We made it through the first 2 days clean. Every 6-hour symptom check came back negative. 23 people, all of us watching each other for green lines under the skin, for the first signs of splitting. Everyone passed. I started thinking maybe we'd gotten lucky. Maybe we got out before the spore exposure was heavy enough to matter. Then morning of day 3, two things happened. The National Guard quarantine line collapsed. We heard it on the ham radio, crackling transmission from somewhere near Medford saying the infected breached the perimeter, walked straight through gunfire like it didn't matter. Turns out bullets don't stop something that's already more tree than person. And the wind shifted. I'm on perimeter watch with Carl Paulson. We're in the north pasture, watching the tree line. The redwoods nearest the property are half a mile away, but that's close enough to matter if the spores start drifting this direction. Ibe god binoculars. Carl's got his rifle. Neither will help much if the wind brings spores, but we're watching anyway, because sitting inside waiting feels worse. Movement, Carl says. 2 o'clock. I swing the binoculars. 3 figures walking through the grassland between the forest and the ranch. That stiff mechanical gait I've seen too many times now. Their arms are full branches. One has growth bursting through its spine, a trunk section maybe 4 feet tall rising from between its shoulder blades. They're walking toward the ranch. They're upwind, I say. 1/4 mile. If they get closer, we'll be in spore range. Carl raises the rifle. I'll drop them at 200 yards. Won't matter. They'll decompose and release spores anyway. We need to burn them. Can't burn them with this wind. Fire'll spread to the grass and we'll lose the whole north section. The 3 infected keep walking. Steady. Unhurried. Like they have all the time in the world. Maybe they do. Maybe time means something different when you're not entirely human anymore. My in-reach, the one I gave Trevor that he gave back to me when we got here, buzzes. Emergency alert. Not from the government this time. From Yolanda at Regional Dispatch. She's still alive. Still trying to coordinate something from the Medford office. USFS personnel. Evacuate all Josephine and Jackson County facilities. Spore density critical. No containment possible. Head for coast or high desert. Avoid forest zones. Coast or high desert. Away from the redwoods. That makes sense. But the coast's 100 miles west through heavy forest. High desert's 100 miles east over the Cascades. Either way, we're moving through contaminated territory with 23 people and limited fuel. Behind me I hear shouting from the main house. I'm turning, lowering the binoculars. Jess is running toward us from the house. Dad! Dad, it's Ramirez. Something's wrong with his face. Ramirez, the football player who came with us from the school. The one who helped us fight off the infected at the hospital. The one whose mother works at Asani 3 Rivers cardiac unit and who we never found because we were too busy evacuating. He's been quiet these last 2 days, keeping to himself in the barn. I thought he was just processing everything. Turns out he was hiding symptoms. I'm running toward the house. Carl's behind me. We're inside in 30 seconds. The living room has everyone gathered around Ramirez. He's sitting on the couch. Dennis is standing over him with a flashlight, examining his face. The green lines are there, under his skin, starting at his nostrils and branching across his cheeks. Early stage but unmistakable. How long? Dennis asks him. Since yesterday afternoon. Maybe 30 hours. Ramirez's voice is steady. He's not panicking. He's just stating facts. I noticed the lines after the evening symptom check on day 2. Thought it was just, I don't know, shadows or something. Checked again this morning, and they'd spread. I'm infected. The room goes quiet. 22 other people processing what this means. 1 infected person on the property. Spores waiting to release. Everything we've built here for 3 days suddenly fragile. And the fact that he hid it, that he passed 2 symptom checks while infected, means he endangered everyone. Dennis looks at me, then at Carl, then at Ramirez. You know the protocol, Dennis says. Not cruel, just practical. You have to leave the property. I know. We'll give you supplies. Food, water, whatever you need. But you can't stay here. I know. Ramirez stands up. He's calm. Too calm. That's shock maybe. Or acceptance. I'll go now. Before it gets worse. Jess is crying. Dad, we can't just send him out there. He's going to turn into one of those things and... I know, baby. I don't know what else to say. There's nothing else to say. Ramirez is infected. He's going to transform. And we can't let him stay here because when he transforms, he'll spread spores and infect everyone else. Rachel's standing next to me. She's not crying, but her jaw's tight. There has to be something we can do. Quarantine him somewhere. The barn, the equipment shed. Too close, Dennis says. Spores spread. Even if we lock him away, he'll contaminate the immediate area. Other people will need to access those buildings. We can't risk it. So we just let him walk off into the forest and die. He's already dying. This just lets the rest of us keep living. Ramirez is getting his jacket from the coat rack by the door. His backpack from where we stored it in the corner. He's moving like this is normal. Like getting exiled to die alone is just another Tuesday afternoon. I should say something. I should thank him for helping at the hospital. For staying with us when he could have gone with Trevor's group. For being calm enough now that he's not causing a panic. But I don't say anything. Because what do you say to someone who's about to stop being human? Ramirez reaches the door. Turns around. Looks at all of us. It's okay, he says. I get it. You're protecting your people. That's what you're supposed to do. He looks at me specifically. Mr. Pritchett, you did good. You got your daughter out. That's what matters. Then he's gone. Walking down the driveway toward the road. Toward the forest. Toward the infected we saw walking this direction. Maybe he'll join them. Maybe they'll walk together. Maybe that's what happens. You transform, and then you're part of something else. Some collective organism that uses humans as mobile spore distribution vectors. I don't know. I don't want to know. Jess is next to me at the window. We're watching Ramirez get smaller as he walks away. The sun's setting. He'll be in the forest by dark. We killed him, Jessa says quietly. No, the spores killed him. We're just trying to survive. Is there a difference? I don't have an answer for that. The night is quiet. We do the 6-hour symptom check. Everyone's clean except Ramirez, and he's gone. Dennis posts guard rotation. 4 people awake at all times, 2-hour shifts, watching for infected approaching from the forest. I'm on watch from midnight to 2 a.m. with Carl. We're in the barn loft where we can see the approaches from 3 sides. The moon's almost full. Plenty of light to see movement. You ever deal with anything like this in the army? Carl asks. No. We trained for chemical weapons, biological attacks, but nothing like this. Nothing that turns people into trees. My brother thinks it's the end. Not just of the outbreak, but of civilization. Says if the spores can't be stopped, they'll spread until every redwood forest in the West is producing them. California, Washington, Oregon, whole coast range becomes an infection zone. He might be right. Where does that leave people like us? Heading for the coast or the high desert, like the alert said. Away from the forests. Finding high ground, dry areas, places where redwoods don't grow. And if we can't get there, I look at him. Then we end up like Ramirez, walking through the forest, spreading spores. Not human anymore. Carl's quiet for a while. Then, I've got 3 kids, 8, 11, and 14. They're downstairs right now, sleeping, dreaming about whatever kids dream about. I keep thinking, what do I tell them when they wake up? How do I explain that the world changed and there's no going back? You tell them the truth. That things are bad, but we're together and we'll get through it. Will we? I don't answer. Because I don't know. 23 people in a ranch house, watching the forest creep closer with every infected person who walks out of it spreading spores. Food running low. Communication systems failing. The National Guard's quarantine broken. No cure. No treatment. No plan except run east or west and hope we make it. At 2 a.m. I go inside. Jessa and Rachel are sleeping together on the couch. I sit in the chair across from them. Watch them breathe. Regular. Normal. Human. For now. The alert said evacuate. Dennis is planning the route. We leave tomorrow morning, head east toward high desert. 23 people in 4 vehicles. 40 miles of contaminated forest between here and safety. I'm looking at my daughter, 14 years old, freshman at a high school that doesn't exist anymore. Her teacher, Mr. Henderson, is walking somewhere dropping spores. Her classmate Ramirez is transforming in the forest. Her father saved her and abandoned everyone else. She's going to remember this. Not just the outbreak, but the choices I made. The people we left behind. The student we exiled. She's going to carry this for the rest of her life, however long that life is. I wanted to protect her. I got her out of Grant's Pass, away from the contamination, to this ranch where we had 3 days of relative safety. I did everything a father's supposed to do. And she's going to spend the rest of her life knowing that her survival came at the cost of other people's deaths. That we chose her over strangers. That when it mattered, we were exactly as selfish as we needed to be to stay alive. She's going to have to live with that. I'm going to have to live with that. The window shows the first gray light of dawn approaching. Dennis is already up, checking maps, planning the evacuation route. Carl's waking the others. Everyone's moving with that quiet efficiency of people who know things are bad and delay makes them worse. We're leaving in an hour, east toward high desert, away from the redwoods, away from the spores, away from the infection that's spreading through every forest in southwestern Oregon. If we're lucky, we make it. If we're not, we end up like the 3 infected I saw walking toward the ranch yesterday. Like Ramirez walking into the forest alone. Like the Caltrans worker on Highway 199, who I watched in my rearview mirror still walking long after I drove away. Like everyone we left behind. Jess is awake. She's looking at me. Dad, are we going to die? I should lie. I should tell her we'll be fine, that everything's going to work out, that adults have a plan and it'll protect her. That's what fathers do. They lie to their children to keep them from being afraid. But I'm tired of lying. I don't know, baby. Maybe. Probably. But we're together and we're going to try, and that's all we can do. She nods. Accepts it. 14 years old and accepting that death is probable and survival is uncertain, and there's nothing anyone can do except keep moving. Rachel's awake now too. She takes Jess's hand. Takes mine. The 3 of us sitting together in the gray dawn light of a world that's ending. Let's go, Rachel says. Whatever happens, let's go. We're loading the trucks. 23 people. For vehicles. 40 miles of contaminated forest between here and maybe safety. The infected are still visible on the northern tree line. More of them now. Maybe 10. Walking slow. Steady. Spreading spores with every step. We're driving away from them. East. Toward the desert. Toward dry land where redwoods don't grow and spores can't take root. If we make it, we'll find other survivors. We'll rebuild something. We'll tell our children about the forests that used to be safe and the trees that turned against us. If we don't make it, we'll join the infected. Walking. Spreading. Part of something larger than ourselves that doesn't care about human survival or human love or the choices we made to save our families. Either way, I'll remember Ramirez walking into the forest. I'll remember the Caltrans worker on Highway 199. I'll remember Mr. Henderson standing in the broken doorway of the school. I'll remember that I saved my daughter and left everyone else to die. And I'll keep driving.